You're listening to the Headlock Talkover podcast, where we like wrestling and we talk about wrestling with Jack and Jeremy.
Hello and welcome to the Headlock Talkover podcast, a podcast where we like wrestling and we talk about wrestling. I am Jeremy, nicknamed TBC. He is Jack the Seer. How are you, Jack?
Fine.
Great. Shall we do some more Tenable?
Yeah.
Let's do some more Tenable.
Don't get it wrong like I did.
No. Well, you know how none of us have got all 10?
Mm-hmm.
It's because we've actually been playing Tenable wrong and I hadn't realised.
Okay.
So rather than it being a top 10... it's supposed to be that there are more than 10, and you have to guess 10 of however many there are.
Okay, right.
So we're approaching WrestleMania season, and what I'm going to give you, I've got a very specific number just because of how many there are that apply to this category.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to give me 10 of the, I believe, 14 people, wrestlers I should say, that have at least 14 WrestleMania matches.
Matches?
Specifically matches.
Just any vote doesn't have to be consecutively?
No,
Right.
I've got a list here of, I believe, 14 people, and I'd like you to give me 10 of them.
Singles matches?
It just says matches.
Right. Undertaker?
Undertaker is number 1, 27 appearances at WrestleMania.
That is madness,
It is, isn't it?
Oh,
I've already got you questioning yourself.
Triple H.
Triple H is number 2.
Yeah.
23 WrestleMania appearances. Also an insane stat, but it really kind of jumps a bit from there.
Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is on the list. I'm not going to give you rankings from there
Yeah,
on, just because
that's
you've got the
fair.
top 2. 17 WrestleMania matches.
Okay. Flair?
Ric Flair is not on this list.
Oh my God.
He spent way too much time outside of the company, I think, to be on that list. So that's your first strike. Give me 3 more wrong answers and we end it and I tell you the rest of the list.
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan is not on this list.
Fuck you.
Think how long he's been retired.
Oh my God.
He's
But
been
14.
He's been away from WrestleMania longer than he's been part of WrestleMania. I think you're forgetting how many WrestleManias there are. His last one was 18, possibly. His last WrestleMania match was 18 against Rock. I think he faced Vince at 19, and there's been 40 WrestleManias.
And he was on WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, but also he spent a lot of time in WCW.
Yeah, oh, shit.
So that's your second strike.
Oh, I've really shit the bed already, haven't I? What have we got? 14 WrestleManias. So
At least 14 matches at
least 14
WrestleMania. I have to
matches.
specify matches.
Oh, see, I'm second guessing everything now. Kane?
Kane is also on the list. 17 WrestleManias along with Shawn Michaels.
Speaking of on the list, Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho is on the list. 14 WrestleManias. So there's your bar.
Okay. Right. So we're... Oh... The Rock?
The Rock is not on this list. That's your third strike. In researching this, I believe he's done 10. Only
Jesus
10.
Christ.
Think about how long he was around.
You know what? My first initial thought was Stone Cold, and then I thought, no, that's stupid. That's really stupid.
You got to think longevity. I
Because
think
he
here.
must have done 3, maybe.
No, he's done. He's around
Four?
he's around 8 to 10.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, 14 manias. I'm trying to think of really daft people now.
To give you an idea here, I mean, it doesn't make any difference to your guesses, but every person on this list has been a world champion. Every single one.
Great cut, no. Batista couldn't have done 14 at all, could he? Because he wasn't around that long.
I can't give anything away.
No, I'm
You know
sorry.
I
I'm
can't.
thinking out loud. Thinking out loud. Cena.
Cena has done 16 WrestleMania matches.
Wabadu.
And just to clarify, this is matches.
Yeah.
So, like, his appearance at last year's WrestleMania doesn't count.
Yeah,
Because he wasn't
yeah.
in the match.
Okay, 14 WrestleManias. Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio has had 15 WrestleMania matches. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 correct answers. And one more life remaining. So you've allowed 2 wrong answers before it's over. So you get 3 more on this list and you've won Tenable.
So we got Rey. So it's
I have one clue if you want to tap me in for it.
let me have a think first. I might take you up on that. Orton.
Orton has had 19 WrestleMania matches. He's 3rd on the list.
Jesus Christ.
So that's 8.
Oh, this is really hard. Roman.
Roman Reigns is not on this list.
Oh, you sexy bastard.
I think he's at 12.
I was trying to think of like the timeline that they started pushing him as a singles guy.
Yeah, I think he's at 12 WrestleMania matches.
I didn't even go for the clue, did I?
No, you're not done yet. You got one more.
Have I?
Yeah. It's only one more wrong answer, and things are over.
Clue me
You want your
immediately.
clue. Please consider the fact I have said matches and not appearances.
Right.
Why would I specifically say matches in this list?
Oh, fucking hell. It's going to be... No. You'd say matches
Specifically
because
matches.
it's not a full-time performer.
No. Well, no, I'm saying this because there's a reason why numbers might get padded this way.
Right, so like Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
No, not strictly. I'm talking about the number of matches being padded.
Right. Oh. Are you... Seth?
Seth.
Right.
Is exactly what I was alluding
Okay,
to.
yeah.
He's pulled double duty twice.
Fucking hell.
WrestleMania.
Heist of the Century, he pulled double
And then
duty,
last
didn't
year,
he?
he did 2. So, yeah, 14 WrestleMania matches. 2 more than Roman for that reason.
Jesus.
One more,
Oh,
and one more life, so...
fucking hell, it's come down to this. It's not fucking Jeff Jarrett, is it? No.
You know it's not Jeff Jarrett. I'm not accepting that.
Oh, it's going to be someone really daft. So, someone above Chris Jericho. Seth doesn't count because he's pulled double duty twice.
But
So theoretically, he should be on.
this is the
12.
reason I've said, yeah. But there's 5 on here, and I just need one of them.
So, would have been a world champion. Someone that's been around for a while. See, I'm thinking that, like, ruthless aggression era. Like, someone in like, you know, Jericho-esque. So, it would have been someone from... there's so many, like, main event people from the Attitude Era.
Not to put any extra pressure on, but I've miscounted. There's 13. So there's only 4 possible correct answers left.
Oh, God. We've had Orton. Who used to feud with Orton quite a lot? Cena.
But you've said him too.
Yeah. I don't... Oh, see, my brain immediately went to Punk then, and I was like, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
He's done maybe 6, 7.
Yeah. He had fucking 8 years off or whatever it was. 7, 8 years off. I can't believe Hogan's not on the list. That just defies all logic in my head. Is it... Miz.
10 for 10.
Oh!
The Miz is the last name on my list. 14 WrestleMania matches. So the other two aren't that surprising. One's very surprising.
I didn't name a single female wrestler then.
There are none on this list.
Yeah, I know. As I was trying to go through it, I was like, shit.
So the only ones you didn't name were The Big Show, 15 WrestleMania matches.
Yeah.
Edge, who had 14 WrestleMania matches.
That's a good one.
And the most surprising on this list, because if you'd have told me he had 14 WrestleMania matches, I'd have been like, Bret Hart.
He popped into my head. He did pop into my head.
I never would have guessed he'd had 14 WrestleMania matches, but there you go.
Yeah, because he wasn't in WCW that long.
No, he wasn't, but he didn't stick around that much longer afterwards. That's why I was like, has he? Yeah, 14, but he started in WrestleMania 9 or 8?
Yeah,
he started early,
wasn't he?
And then he probably had the match with Vince McMahon sort of tipped him over the edge.
I nearly said Vince.
He's not had that many.
It was your clue really threw me off.
I was really trying to lead to the double duty kind of thing, but
I picked up what you were putting down.
Yeah, you did. Okay, shall we do a nice big recap, because we're a little later than usual releasing this episode. Stuff's kind of got in the way, but we'll
stuff has got in the way, and I must admit I'm really behind.
That's all right. You ain't missed a whole lot. I mean, we're building to WrestleMania after all, but you ain't missing a whole lot. So let's talk about last week's Raw. This is when we first saw John Cena post nut kick to Cody Rhodes. Mm-hmm. And what surprised us the most is that we got the same gear, the same music, the same entrance, essentially.
I think it's perfect.
They've pivoted it perfectly.
Everybody wanted the new attire, the new theme, the new heel John Cena, and it's so ironic that the most heel they could make John Cena is to make him the same.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Well, it's more the justification of you don't get what you fucking want anymore. That's absolutely genius.
It's so good.
I do love it. We've had more a lot of hijinks leading to the inevitable multi-man IC ladder match. More Penta and Ludwig and Braun and Dom Mysterio, I think, as well. So they haven't officially announced it at this point. We're recording this the day of SmackDown, so it probably won't get announced until the next episode of Raw, but they're going to do it, and it'll probably be a ladder match.
Braun's losing. Mm-hmm. Braun, it's a good way to get the title off Braun, move him to the main event.
And then give Jacob the title and have those two feud for 1,000,000 years.
Well, I was thinking more Braun and Jay, because they've got history together. Because didn't Braun take the IC title?
He did, that's right. Yeah.
So you could say I took the IC off you, I can take the heavyweight off you.
But he'd have to stay on Raw for that, yeah, okay.
Kind of writes itself. Well, that's assuming Jay goes over, so...
I'm assuming Jay goes over.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very vocal minority talking about Jay, but the man sells tickets. I don't particularly care.
He said in a couple of interviews now, he's acknowledged it, and he said, there are better wrestlers out there than him,
but they're not on top.
He goes out there with no script, and that is what you see.
Yep.
And he's at that level for a reason.
Exactly right.
And I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
And it's nice to have something different. Whether you think he deserves it or not, I'm happy with the position they've put him in.
Yeah.
I mean, hasn't thrived the way we want him to, but there's still time for that. A lot of question marks were happening around Damian Priest when he was heading towards the title scene. And then when he won it as Senior Money in the Bank, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Got to give him that fair opportunity first, I think. So I remain cautiously optimistic on that. On SmackDown, this was the Italy episode, I believe. This is where we got the...
Bueno.
Yes, that's the right language. That's not Spanish at all. We got the three-way promo between Punk, Rollins and Reigns before their WrestleMania match became official. The only thing I can remember looking back on it bearing in mind we're about a week departed from it, is that Punk called Rollins Grimace because he wore a purple outfit. That's all I can really remember. Punk basically pointed out that neither of them have been able to beat Punk without the other's help.
That's a cool little detail.
And it won't change either.
Yeah.
He's just proved right if he takes the pin. So maybe they're foreshadowing that.
Yeah.
I still have a feeling Seth's winning.
Punk can take a loss. That's like, out of all of them, Punk seems the one that can take a loss the most, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Roman should not be getting pinned. Like, at any point.
I think he could against those two. Only if it's those two. Like,
isn't Seth his kryptonite?
Yeah, he's never beaten Seth one-on-one.
So that would make sense.
That wouldn't matter here because it's not one-on-one.
But
he's never beaten Seth one-on-one. And I go back to the match with Bryan and Edge, because those two were like top of their game at the time. But in terms of superstardom, I think Seth and Punk are at just a slightly higher level.
Yeah. So when Roman eventually stacks them and pins them,
all the more for it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We talk about Jay getting a little bit of flack. Tiffany Stratton's got a little bit of flack in the last week or so. They did one of those sort of sit-down face-to-face promo
Piece
things.
de camaraderies.
That's the one. And, yeah, Tiffany did not come off very strongly, unfortunately.
I've heard a couple of different things. Some people saying Charlotte went off script and Tiffany didn't know what to do and she stuck to the script. I also read somewhere that Charlotte was told to do that, to test Tiffany a bit and see how she fares.
All of that is absolutely believable.
Yeah, because of all the people that could get away with doing it.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, she's the one that can...
But it's just this whole feud, Charlotte's looking leagues above Tiffany, and it's such a shame.
This is the problem. But I feel they're going to do like the same thing they did with Solo and Cena. Like, it's obvious that Charlotte's above Tiffany at the moment, but Tiffany's still going to go over.
Yeah.
Hopefully to just give her that boost that she needs. Because, I mean, it didn't quite work for Solo. He became a bit lackluster after he beat Cena, but still. Be interesting to see where it goes after the match.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what each one does. Like, if Charlotte goes over, be interesting to see her next feud. And then if Tiffany goes over, again, it'd be interesting to see Tiffany's next feud and then what Charlotte does afterwards.
I'm anticipating Becky to return the day after WrestleMania. But it's where she would return. That's the question.
I would like to see the Punk and Rollins feud carry on. Lynch return, and that leads to the return of AJ Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, it writes itself, really. That's if AJ Lee wants to come back. I mean, she might not.
Yeah, she's running a production company. Punk has said so in interviews, so I don't know if she's keen to come back.
That's the thing, yeah.
But the storyline's there, if they want to take advantage of it. But by the looks of things, we may have a bunch of other women joining the fray in the coming months. I think the news broke yesterday that Paige had been released by AEW. Can't imagine WWE not wanting to snap her up and try and get her cleared. She's 30, I think.
No, she's not.
She's early 30s.
No, she's not.
She is.
Christ.
I'm pretty sure she's early 30s, so there's plenty of gas left in the tank on her career.
And even if they can't clear her, because they had her uncleared for such a long time. So even if their doctors say, look, no, we can't clear you, give her Ava's job on NXT.
Yeah. She's invaluable as a backstage role. Even if you don't ever see her again and she's just training, I think she's got some real wisdom to impart.
Didn't she do the on-screen general manager role?
Yeah, I believe she did. I don't know if she was general manager, but she did a lot of on-screen stuff.
Her and Regal is like an English, like, bad comedy duo. Would be
I'd
fucking
love
perfect.
that.
Have them run NXT immediately.
definitely.
Paige, yeah.
That's what I'm back. Yes, please. What else have we got? There was one more thing. Oh, can we just throw some more praise on Chelsea Green real quick?
Yeah?
Yeah. I believe she's gone down to NXT with the United States Championship and has messed around a bit in there. But the idea that the United States champion is Canadian and both of her security guards are Scottish.
Just inexplicably Scottish. And it's
Brilliant.
fantastic, yeah.
I can't get enough of that. And Piper Niven and I think she's still going by Alba Fire, isn't she? She hasn't changed her name since.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, give me more of that all the time because Chelsea Green has become a godsend in that women's division. Glad she's got the chance. That's all I'm happy to talk about with SmackDown. It's all general build-up outside of that. And then the Raw just passed. We had another promo from Cena. Was kind of the same thing. Did you notice the small detail that's changed on his gear, though? Very, very subtle if you haven't noticed it. The C is now in front of the stop sign on the logo.
Okay. Interesting.
So you can see him now. That's his way of changing it.
John.
Such a subtle change. And I do absolutely love it. But he's saying more thing. Like there was a kid he called out in the previous episode in Brussels.
Mm-hmm.
The kid has taken it like an absolute champ. I believe he made a video where he was like, I don't care.
Plant.
Yeah,
Plant.
I like the fact that John Cena did it. He's still my hero.
No, Plant. That kid was, yeah.
That's
not real. I'm not having that. Not having that.
Okay, go get your tinfoil hat. I think the gist of what John was saying is that he's going to ruin professional wrestling for all of us because we kind of ruined it for him with all the years of abuse. And I'm okay with that. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Then Cody came out and tried to brawl with him and Cena backed away like a cowardly heel.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Certainly is. I don't know what else we've got here. Oh yeah, it was previously announced that Jey Uso would take part in a tag team match with a mystery partner.
In Glasgow.
In Glasgow. So there was a lot of speculation as to who it might be. One name was said quite a lot of times. Wasn't Joe Hendry though, was it?
It was Big Jim.
It was Big Jim Uso.
And I don't believe in Big Jim until...
Yeah, not quite the same, is it? Nowhere near. The Usos won their match. I believe Gunther interfered straight after and started attacking Jay and Jimmy. When they got backstage, Gunther had like a little backstage promo with Jimmy. Did you see this?
No.
So Gunther really went off script with it because Jimmy challenged Gunther to a match next week.
Mm-hmm.
And Gunther said, "Yep, that's fine, just don't trip like your brother."
Oy.
To which Jimmy responded with a mighty slap to the face.
Oh, I've seen the slap.
That was part of that promo.
Right, okay.
My God, what a slap. Then we had more shenanigans revolving the women's world title scene. Io Sky being pushed to the background a bit with the whole Rhea and Bianca stuff, which makes me think she's going to retain.
I hope so.
Yeah, after all this, I think she needs it. She did the job to Bayley last year after a really good title reign.
Yeah.
So I think give her another year on Raw with that. Have a feud with the likes of Alexa Bliss. Maybe Becky Lynch when she comes back. Be a fun little feud to have.
That'd be good.
Yeah, plenty of options on that Raw roster, I think. But
where does she stand with Asuka?
I believe they're still friends.
Right, okay.
I believe her, Asuka, and Kyrie are still friends.
Mm-hmm.
But
I lost track of that completely.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the sleeper hit of Mania. That triple threat with those three.
Oh, yeah.
All fantastic performers, all great at telling a story. You think back to Rhea facing Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
Might have been my favourite match of that Mania. The only one that would contend with it is the IC triple threat. Gunther, Drew and Sheamus.
Oh yeah, no, that was the best match on the.
I did really love Rhea and Charlotte. I can't really differentiate between the two, if I'm perfectly honest. And then finally, I'd like to talk a little bit about a mysterious luchador that turned up. El Grande Americano. Had a match against Dragon Lee and won. I want to talk about what's happened after the fact. Have you seen what's happened?
Yep.
You saw it earlier today.
Oh, what? No. I've seen the fallout of his promo.
Which is...
it's annoyed a lot of people.
That's what I've seen.
Right, okay.
A lot of people in the lucha community, particularly south of the border in Mexico, are not happy with this representation. I don't know how they could pivot away from this at this point, but it's happened.
He's supposed to be a heel. He's supposed to be... It's obviously Chad Gable mocking luchadors.
Yes.
So it might be done as a way to get heat. So he's deliberately doing it badly. Would be what I'm...
Yeah, I get that, but we know, the luchador culture is sacred.
That's it. They might have overstepped the mark a little bit.
The point where it's become crass in certain people's eyes.
Because there's... In the promos and stuff, it's obviously they've just used AI to do it.
Yeah, there was that as well.
People have stopped it, and there's wrestlers with 6 fingers on one hand and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, it could just be this guy's doing his own promos because it's Chad Gable doing it really badly.
Yeah, of course.
But that's really meta, that is, if they're doing that.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want to turn this into a political thing, but they mentioned the Gulf of America in that same video package, and yeah, those south of the border were not happy with that either.
No.
So
again, if it's a way to get heat, it is overstepping the mark, isn't it? Really. Again, we're not American, so we don't have a skin in the game. Yeah. I suppose it'd be no, I'm not gonna.
But that's how it's gone. Essentially, is that they're not happy with that situation. So.
Other than that, it's a great storyline.
Yeah, I want to see where it's going.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. Have they signed Phoenix?
Yeah.
He's on the books.
Do you reckon they pull a Cody Rhodes situation and have him face a mysterious luchador?
Ooh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Chad Gable versus a luchador at WrestleMania.
He keeps beating luchadors, and then does a Lucha Open challenge at Mania, answered by yeah, that's it, isn't it? Really, that's it.
Yeah, that would get me on board. Actually, to be fair, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the wrestling news. It was more Punk, Roman, and Seth shenanigans. A lot of alluding to the favour that's owed, which I think will culminate in WrestleMania one way or another. But yeah.
I reckon it'll be something stupid, like Punk will say, I want you in my corner, not Roman's.
I just have a funny feeling this might end up with Paul Lee siding with Seth. I've just got a feeling that he's going to walk away with Seth at the end of this Mania.
I don't know about that.
I'd like to see it. I just
wouldn't.
would love to see it. It's just the swerve that nobody would expect, and it really adds stakes to that match. That's the only downside of this triple threat, is that it's pride.
Yeah.
And for those three particular men, it needs to be more than pride.
True.
For me, anyway, for that to work. But I think that's everything news-wise. Only thing I've got noted news-wise that you would like to discuss is the name Ken Shamrock. Would you like to take the floor?
Have you seen all this news?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, they've just signed him to a Legends deal.
Okay.
They've just put out new merch for him. Are we getting Ken Shamrock in the Hall of Fame?
I hope so.
Finally.
I hope so.
Fucking finally.
That man is part of one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time.
Yeah.
So
Brett versus Austin.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Ridiculous.
To be part of that.
He was such a big part of the Attitude Era as well, and he just seems to have been forgotten about. And when this whole TNT thing happened and UFC merged with WWE, it was perfect because you got Ken Shamrock was like a big star in both.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know what he did, if he annoyed anyone or if he just got forgotten about. But he doesn't seem to badmouth WWE.
No.
He doesn't seem to badmouth anybody. No one seems to badmouth him.
I also think he played quite a big part in The Rock becoming what he was.
Yeah.
So the Rock in his current iteration might have had something to do with that.
I think they dropped the ball with him slightly because I think he could have been a world champion.
Yeah.
Shamrock.
Who's in the current class this year? Can you remember any of the names?
Lex.
Yeah.
I can't believe Lex isn't in. Oh,
Triple H, Michelle McCall, Lex Luger, the Natural Disasters.
Yeah, that's it.
They are. There was a rumor a couple of years ago that they have to include a person of color as well. So there's more to come.
Haku.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, give me Haku.
It's perfect. I know I joke about Haku all the time.
We love Haku. He's just brilliant to watch.
But he didn't have that much success by himself, but his seed has.
His reputation has preceded him and then succeeded him.
Yeah. Is Rikishi in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think so.
Because, again, his seed has been quite successful
You'd have to
as
put
well.
the whole family tree in there at this point.
Yeah.
Just in as one.
Let's just put that fucking family in there, so for God's sake, get it over and done with.
Every single member.
Yeah.
Grandma Fatu in.
Hall of Famer Zilla Fatu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Just immediately. So I guess the only other thing for us to discuss would be the one incident that happened on Dynamite. Do you want to tell the story or shall I?
John Moxley stabbed himself in the back.
Well, that's not strictly true.
No.
Quite hard to stab yourself in the back.
Yeah. Well,
Particularly with the weapon that was
he
used.
fucking tried to.
Yeah.
John Moxley got suplexed on a bat that had nails in it. I mean, I thought it was bad when they had Nick Gage using the pizza cutter and then it cut to a Domino's advert. Like that was bad. That was bad. But this on TV, it wasn't even.
Yeah, it was Dynamite.
It wasn't even like. But I know they were redoing the match that got flack. But fucking hell, like, and didn't he have like flight issues as well?
Yeah,
he drove like 11 hours.
He drove 11 hours to get to the
Really
match.
need to drive 11 hours to get suplex on some nails. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Do you want to know something wild as well? Following that, have you seen the latest sponsorship / partnership that AEW have got?
B&Q? I don't know.
No, it's not like that. But the last thing you want after something like that to happen is it's the Minecraft movie. Something very deliberately marketed at children.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because imagine you're a parent and wrestling is a bit taboo anyway. And you let your kid watch it. You know what? I'm going to let you watch it, wrestling. And you walk in and there's someone pulling a fucking mace out of their back. I mean, if it's on pay-per-view, that's different. Because they come with warnings and don't try this at home. And I know that the TV show does as well. But you've given money to that. Like, anyone could have just turned that on. And just...
I'm sorry. I'm smiling because we've become hypocrites.
I know.
Remember the Attitude Era?
Yeah.
The shit that we were subjected to as kids.
I absolutely love ECW as well.
Yeah.
But that's different. It was expected. Like, no one's turning on wrestling in 2025 from free TV and wanting to see someone nearly paralysed.
Yeah, it was a street fight. I think that's how they sort of get away with that. It was like, yeah, shit's going to go down in this match. You got to kind of anticipate for it. It is wild.
It was a hell of a spectacle, and it's a hell of a bump. And John Moxley is absolutely insane.
No argument from me.
But it shouldn't be on free TV.
No, if they'd done that on pay-per-view, I think I'd be more for it.
Just the crowd reaction as well. just said it all, because it was almost silence.
There was a
when
big
it
oh
happened.
of shock, and then just like, oh shit, it's still in his back.
It was when
the ref and Yuta.
Wheeler Yuta,
Yeah.
was like, I think Yuta went to pull it out, and you saw the skin stretch, and he obviously just went, oh, this is above my wheelhouse, and then left it to the ref, didn't he? And he ran out of the ring, and then the camera followed him.
Well, if you look closely, I believe Wheeler's just doing it entirely wrong. So I think from what I remember, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pull it very, very straight. So it comes straight out of the way it came in. Wheeler was like angling it as he was pulling.
Trying to like use it as a lever.
So it was almost going back in at the top. And that's what Moxley was saying. He was like, pull it fucking straight. You can almost see him just yelling at Yuta for not doing it right. And then the ref had to take over and Wheeler had to distract. There is one more AEW thing I want to talk about before we wrap up.
Is it the way Pac's always in his pants and not street gear?
No, but
Right.
I love that too. I want to talk about Chris Jericho. We've talked about this in private as well, but we'll quickly discuss it here as well. Because Chris Jericho got mugged off by a little boy.
Or girl.
No, I've confirmed afterwards because we weren't sure at the time. It's a boy.
All right, okay, yeah.
So this happened at Collision. Then there was a tag team match, I believe, because Brian Keith and Big Bill were next to Jericho as it happened. Jericho starts taunting this boy who's absolutely giving it back to Jericho.
Love it.
On camera, the kid gives Jericho the finger. And it's an M&M finger as well. It's like one of them.
One of them.
Yeah.
Like 90s.
Exactly.
Like Vince McMahon middle finger.
Basically. And Jericho's like trash talking back, and the kid's having none of it. He's absolutely giving it back. He goes, how old are you? You're like 11 years old. He goes, you're like 54. And then he goes, yeah, this looks like the body of a 54-year-old. The little kid lifts his top with fucking abs. Like, absolutely impressive abs. Better than you or I have ever had. And then Jericho, he's trying not to lose his shit. Because this kid's absolutely owning him.
Mugged him right up.
And he goes, where'd you get those? And the kid's going, I got them from working out, unlike you. And Jericho had to just tap out. He smiled straight at the camera and just walked off.
Jesus. Yeah, fair play.
Tony's going to sign that boy.
Yeah.
Have him versus -1 for no reason.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good enough point to wrap up. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I got nothing
Perfect.
to say. I got nothing to say.
Okay, thank you very much for watching the Headlock Talkover podcast. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, rate us if you're listening on Spotify. Enjoy the next episode.
Bye.